Rob and Slim Show.
Hey, it's Russell.
Hey, Russell
again.
Nohelty. How you doing, dude?
What up, man?
What up, dude? You're a writer, a publisher, and a podcaster, correct?
Yeah, I mean, that's a couple of the many jobs that I have, but yeah, let's just keep it there for now.
Okay.
Nice, dude. Where are you from, dude?
L.A.?
L.A.? And you have two sites that I saw, Wannabe Press, and what's the other one? What
The
can I
Business
see?
of Art?
The Business of Art. Now, Wannabe Press is your publishing company, correct?
That's right, we make weird books for weird people.
That's us.
Cool, man.
Oh, dude. And I saw it said you founded it in 2014, correct?
Yeah, right after we did a Kickstarter for our first book, Ichabod Jones Monster Hunter, but really our first slate launched in February of 2015, where we did like 3 books simultaneously.
Cool. And why did you start your own company? Like, had you had enough with other publishing companies?
Yeah, I had a couple of publishing deals, and they just weren't promoting the book enough. Here's the thing. Even at a huge company, they don't promote the book, really. They have distribution, and they pimp it out a little bit. But really, you're on your own to do the promotion, and I don't like giving up control of anything to anybody.
Yeah, I agree. And if you're still doing all that other work, why not just do it all yourself?
I mean, it's kind of hard when you have, for the distribution part of it, because, if you're at Simon & Schuster, they're going to get orders, whereas, like, you have to go and beg Ingram to carry your book.
Yeah.
But, here's the thing. I also have to make 1/10 of what Simon & Schuster or someone has to make to be profitable. So
you got to cut
it's
your
like
cost.
Yeah, and on top of that, like, I get to do the thing that I want to do, and
Right.
I don't like doing things that other people want to do because they generally don't have the same vision as me, and frankly, my vision's worked out pretty all right so far in the past couple of years.
Cool. That's what I was going to ask. Like, what does your company do different than the big conglomerates or anything like that?
So we're able to meet the customers where they are because our imprint's small. We're mostly Southern California, so there's a very good chance if you meet us in person, that it will be me and the creators behind the scenes. But more importantly, all right, so you guys read Marvel or DC books?
Marvel.
Do you, Slim? You
I
read
used to-
Marvel, Pete?
I used to read Marvel back in the day.
I haven't in a while, but every now and then I'll subscribe to like Marvel Unlimited, and I'll read
Yeah.
like old school. Like
Marvel.
I read the first 24 issues of like Uncanny X-Men recently. So
I think
yeah.
I tried getting digital Transformers once, and they're Marvel, I think, but
Yeah.
it didn't work or something.
The only DC I ever really got into was the Batman comics. That was it.
Yeah, so what I don't like about Marvel and DC and a lot of big companies is their print quality is garbage.
Okay.
Like, it's just garbage. It's terrible. I mean, I'm not just talking about Marvel and DC. I'm talking about most companies cheap out on print. And we want to make beautiful books that are also entertaining. So think about, like, Humanoids, who used to do heavy metal, or, companies like that. Like,
Okay.
Our goal is to print less and make each book an experience that our fans can cherish forever, but
So
while still making it entertaining.
So you're not releasing single issues though. You're releasing just full graphic novels.
Yeah, because we do books and graphic novels, and I don't know how anybody can do single issues because they give me a heart attack. The idea of thinking that I have to be involved in anything in perpetuity for the rest of my life makes me want to have an aneurysm. I want to finish something and then move on to the next thing.
I agree.
I
I
like
think
that.
that was always like why I've been attracted to like certain like animes that will only run 24 episodes and end and like resolve.
Yeah,
you
those
know,
Two
versus-
seasons at the most.
Yeah,
Yeah.
animes. They really
Yeah.
are.
Then you got Inuyasha that went
That's-
20 seasons and
It's
never
really-
finished.
And they just walk.
Yes.
That's all
They
they
walk.
do.
They're just
They
walking
walk.
into the sunset.
But things like Fully Cooley where it was like 6
Yeah.
episodes and done.
And then they want to bring that back now, and I don't want to see any more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like seeing things that are complete thoughts. Like, I like I don't like reading series of novels either. I like one and done books where I can get inside somebody's head, find out what they think about a topic, and then move on. At least that's how I am as a writer and a reader. So that's sort of who I became as a publisher. Frankly, the publisher part of it is by default. I just like fell into publishing because I wanted better for myself than what I was getting, than the deals that I was getting. And the fact that people were saying that these books are not mass market, I said, cool, that's all right. Like, I don't need a mass market. I need a very small market. I need a few thousand people to dig the stuff that I have to say.
I want, a few strong followers then. Yeah. Exactly. I agree. That's kind of what I said about the show. People have asked, like, how big our audience is at times. I said, it's not huge, but the ones that are just diehard. Yeah. They love the show.
Yeah. I think the problem with the huger audience is, like, you might have somebody that goes and, because they heard from a friend of a friend of a friend who said this is good, they pick it up and then they never read it again. While you know that, like, your smaller audience, like, those are guys that are hardcore and they're gonna read everything and they're gonna contact you, and, like, there's more faith in that smaller group, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing is you can never plan to be a huge company. You can plan to be a small company that does a thing well and then hope that you grow over time. But you can't, like, I don't understand how you can plan to be Dropbox. Like, Dropbox is such, like, a anomaly in the world. While there are a million companies that are very strong niche tech companies, there's very few Dropboxes. So your chance of failure, if your goal is to be Dropbox, is high.
It's high.
But your chance of finding a few thousand weirdos who are kind of like resonate with you is very high. Like you can make that happen. Like you can, with your own grit and determination, make things that people like you want.
That's awesome.
And so that's sort of how the company started. That's also the impetus for my podcast and all that stuff. Like, all of it is to feed the people that know, like, and trust me. Yeah, and
And you just get better quality stuff when you do that, because when you look at, like, Hollywood is a good example, when you have these movies where you can tell they're just, like, they sat there and they screened them and we want everybody to like this. It has to appeal to everybody.
Yeah, then you got a mediocre, watered-down piece of garbage.
And then when you can look at these more independent cult films that are really, really well done, well scripted, and it's like, we want a few people who are going to like this, and they're just better products all around.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're better or worse. It's just you can't plan to be Marvel. You can't plan to be as a director or as a creative. You can never plan to be like a superstar.
Yeah.
You can plan to be a character actor. It is a very feasible strategy to be a successful character actor, or be in commercials, or be in things like. I'm not saying it's easy to be in that world, but the chance that you can be a character actor and make a living as an actor is way higher than the chances of you being Matthew McConaughey. That chance is almost zero.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
But so in the same way with my company, I would love to have a readership of millions. Like, don't get me wrong, like that would be a great thing, but what I'm focused on is making the best quality for the people that like our stuff, and hoping that they tell other people who tell other people who tell other people.
Right.
And I just want to carve out my little piece of the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I did read I read from what you sent me, you sent monsters and other scary shit. I read the first story, Go Fish, that you did. I loved it, dude. It was smart. It was funny. It was great. It was really good.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, that's sort of the ethos. So one of the things that we try and do in our company is make things that are entertaining and fun, but still thought-provoking, but not in like a beat you over the head kind of way.
Yeah, that's how I felt. That's exact. You hit it. You hit the nail on the head, bro. It was like a night went after this princess that the king ordered. The king ordered this monster to be killed, because he kidnapped the princess. But then the knight gets there, and the princess is there willingly because she can't stand the king. She wanted to get away, and she's just playing Go Fish with the monster, and it's hilarious.
That's amazing.
It's good, dude.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been the weird. So this is why, like, that sort of story is very entertaining for people that get it, but like, it's probably never going to sell 1 million copies because like it's pretty subversive as far as like kinds of stories. So that was where like my goal and our mission is to find people to show our books to that will resonate with it, and like just be like, hey man, if you like to go fish, you're gonna like all the other stuff, and the chances that you or other people like check out other stuff when they pick up one of our books is pretty high. I mean, it's not easy. It's easy to find content, but 99.99999% of it is garbage. So like when you find that one that you like the chances that you're going to go and look at other stuff is very high.
And I felt like you said, just like you said, you go for a higher quality. I love the artwork. I love the colors. I felt like I was like either watching a short on YouTube or something. Like it was really well done.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and that's just one of 30 stories for the Monsters and Other Scary Shit anthology.
Yeah, I saw that. It had a lot of stories.
Yeah, it's 224 pages, and we got artists we got indie artists to do some stories. We got artists who work for Boom and IDW and Dark Horse and DC who've worked on Simpsons and Transformers, and a bunch of like indie guys. And we try to mix it up with like established creators, sort of like journeymen who are kind of more like me, who like have a sort of audience in an area but aren't like nationally known, and then like some newbies all sort of blended together. But there's one thing that all of the people that are involved have. It's 46 total creators, and they all love monsters. All of them. Everyone.
Nice.
Wow, that's awesome.
And you can't fail with a product like that because that's kind of like what we do with the show, having all different guests on. It exposes their fans to our show, and they become fans of our show. It's a great process doing it that way.
Yeah, man, and it's really rewarding to work with so many creative minds. I mean, I have a list of hundreds of creators that I want to work in my career, and it was getting so long. I was like, I'm probably never going to work with 90% of these people, which is one of the impetuses for the anthology, where I was able to go to a bunch of my friends, all of whom I respect, most of whom I would never even have a shot at working with, either because they're writers or because we only put out 2 to 4 books a year, and put that out over 30 years. That's 120 books, and so over the course of my life. So the chances that I'm going to work with those people are very small. But with this book, I was able to combine 2 loves, which is the love of all of these creatives whose work I've adored for years, and also, my love of monsters. Because here's the thing, I read a lot of monster stuff. I love monsters, and what ends up happening is monsters are generally associated with horror. And so when you read something about monsters, it's almost always horror monsters. And I am not a huge fan of horror movies. I'm a fan of monsters. I like Sesame Street monsters and Gravity Falls monsters, and I like sci-fi monsters, and I like horror monsters, but so I wanted to make something that was about monsters of all shapes and sizes, not just horror monsters.
Like, I've always been a big fan of like the giant, like the Japanese giant like Godzilla and whatnot too.
Yeah.
Those are sweet.
Nice, dude. I was thinking too, kind of like wasn't that what was the Disney movie with Sully?
Oh, Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. Yeah, that kind of made me think of that, where they just they just do it because it's their job or something,
they
right?
Have, like every kind of monster just living in there.
I like that. I love that concept.
Yeah, so that's not a horror monster. So I have always have been associated with horror for a long time, and we have a monster about we have a story about a Cookie Monster type Sesame Street monster who was fired 10 years ago and he's drunk at a bar. We've got a Godzilla monster who's talking about why he does it, and it's because like humans have destroyed his land. We have all sorts of we've got
That's
stories
amazing.
all. Yeah, so it's all sorts of monsters. There are some sci-fi, there are some horror, but there's also some like more comedy ones.
Nice.
There's one about a fantasy, like a dungeon slayer who goes to like fight a monster, and he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Don't you know, like, we don't do that anymore. Like, this isn't a thing. Like, his other friends, like, this is not how it is in the 2000s. It's called Millennials and Dragons. All sorts of, like, stuff. There's some prose stuff, but it's all the focus is not horror, sci-fi, fantasy, or any sort of. It's monsters, and
Nice.
that's why it's called Monsters and Other Scary
What
Shit.
about any of
That's
like
cool.
the old Greek monsters like the Hydra and shit? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember there being any of that. But if you did like that, my book Katrina Hates Dead Shit is basically all the best monsters from Greek, Roman, Egyptian, and Judeo-Christian mythology all blended together. So it's
awesome.
That
demons,
is cool.
zombies, hydras, Charon, Cerberus,
Yeah, true.
ghosts, angels, all sorts of like monsters in my own sort of blasphemous action adventure.
Nice, dude. Russell, I wanted to ask you too. Your podcast, the Business of Art, that's for creatives, right? Like you're kind of giving like an inside look at how to do a certain thing on each episode, correct?
Yeah, so we have so it's called the Business of Art. It's about how creatives can build better businesses. So here's a general thing that most creatives have is they want to make art and they don't want anything to do with a business. Business is gross and yucky, and who wants to like sell things? They just want to make things.
Yup.
So what I do is I demystify sort of business principles for artists, and I bring on artists like Richard Starkings, Paul Jenkins, Rachel Dukes, Jim Zub, a whole bunch of artists, creators, and writers who've made their living as an artist to sort of talk about how they do it. And it's shocking. It's shocking. Hey, they all like build an audience. They all go to shows. Like there's all these things that when it comes out of their mouth, you know, the audience generally responds to it because it's not me saying it. It's not like some random business guru saying it. It's artists that they respect, like, and admire saying, hey, yeah, you should build a mailing list. You should, like, you know, have a website. You should, like, this is how you find jobs step by step. So it's been pretty effective, just like you. Like, my audience isn't huge, but it does. What ends up
Has a
happening
reach.
is a lot of people pick and choose the episodes because like they'll scroll through. We've done 150 episodes, so like they'll scroll through a lot and be like, yeah, I don't need any of those things. Yes, I want that one. So I end up having a lot of people say, I listened to 3 episodes in the past like 5 months. But that's cool, man. I just want the discourse of creative business to go up
And
because
they get what they want. Like that's a great product to have out there.
yeah, I mean, I think that the underlying flaw of the creative community is that they don't treat themselves like a business, and that allows them to get screwed. And unless we fix the foundation, nothing can change. Like it doesn't matter how many like other courses and things and how well you draw. Like you could be the best artist in the world. If you don't understand the fundamental flaw of how to treat yourself like a business, you're still going to get screwed. And I know that because I was that guy getting screwed until I learned better.
Oh, nice. I saw too you have a Kickstarter toolkit. What is that?
Okay, so I do a lot of work with Kickstarter. This Monsters and Other Scary Shit is launching on Kickstarter on Valentine's Day because it's my love letter to monsters. And so my Kickstarter toolkit is everything that I've ever said on my blog, podcast, and YouTube about Kickstarter. So I have a course called Crushing on Kickstarter, which is part of that toolkit. I have like 30 episodes of my show. I have a bunch of blog posts that I wrote, but it's just like a comprehensive, no opt-in. You don't have to sign up for anything unless you want to buy the course, but it's just like I got sick of people asking me what I thought about Kickstarter, so I made this resource, which was just like, oh, you want to know about Kickstarter? Cool, go listen to all this stuff, and then come back to me, and then you can ask me whatever question that you want.
Cool.
But it's a great resource. I mean,
It sounded like it.
it's dozens of hours of content that like completely free from someone who's run 5 successful campaigns and raised over $20,000 on the platform and helped people raise tens of thousands more.
That's cool. What do you get? Is there a pay service too for it?
I mean, if you want to pay for the course, there's a link to get my Crush It on Kickstarter course for $7. It's just $7. It's everything you need to know to create, launch, fund, and distribute your Kickstarter, all told in little like mini episodes. It's cheap because the audio quality is kind of like wanting. Let's call it wanting. I mean, you can still hear stuff, and it used to be. So I used to have this thing called Kickstarter University. When that failed, I just transitioned all of that content. So there's a lot of like buffer beginning and after talking about Kickstarter University that I just decided to leave it, and I was like, screw it, let's put it on for $7.
Yeah.
It's honestly a very small percentage of what I talk about because Kickstarter, I have a new book coming out called Sell Your Soul. How to build your creative career, and Kickstarter and launching products is only 1/5 of the stuff that I teach. So I figure, hey man, if you can launch a product on Kickstarter successfully, awesome, because that is like that gives you a good base of knowledge for all of the other stuff that we talk about.
Yeah, that seems like a really hard thing to master.
I mean, it's hard, but the nice thing is Kickstarter is basically launching products for artists. So it's sales pages, it's copy, it's rewards, it's how to put everything together. So it's basically like a business 101 for artists. It shows you how, at least for online marketing, it talks about how to use social media to do it. Once you can do a successful Kickstarter launch, you kind of have a very, very minimal base of knowledge for how to run a successful business, which is why Kickstarter is great for me. Like if someone's run a Kickstarter, I can say, okay, cool. So you're ready to actually learn how to do this as a business, right? And like all the other pieces that you need, which is, it's great for that purpose, because otherwise if I try and say, hey, have you ever created a sales page before? People go, no. And I go, have you ever run a Kickstarter before? Yes. Okay, cool. Then you've created a sales page. Let me talk about how.
Nice, dude. That's cool. Russ, we have to wrap this up, man. But thank you so much for talking to us. And where can everybody find you?
Okay, so if you want to find out about the Kickstarter before it launches on February 14th, head on over to monsteranthologycomic.com. When you're there, you'll get a really long introduction. We have, we have a whole bunch of information on that page. And then you can sign up for the Kickstarter interest list and be entered to win an indie comic bundle with a bunch of awesome comics from Tom Spellman, from Year of the Goat, from Oni, some from Insane Comics, and a whole bunch of others. If you want to find out about the podcast, it's thebusinessofart.us. And then if you want to find out about my publishing company, it's wannabepress.com.
Awesome. And I saw, too, that if you sign up for the mailing list on wannabepress.com, you get free comics. So you can.
Yeah, man, you get a free comic. And if you sign up on the businessofart.us, you get a free ebook about how to build your audience from scratch.
Cool.
Dude, that's amazing. What a great service. Thank you so much for talking to us, Russ.
Yeah, man. Have a great day.
You too. Have a great night.
You too, man.
Cool, man.